What's up? What's up? It's your girl, Michelle, with the Raindrop Combos. And
Stacy, what's going on, guys?
Sunday, baby, we had a few tech difficulties.
We did.
So
We
we're
did.
back. We're back.
That's what happens when you do a live show.
And I love it. And so,
absolutely.
because anything can go wrong.
But thank you to our listeners for letting us know that, you couldn't hear us talking. So we got
Otherwise,
the
we
best
would have just been mute, like puppets the whole time.
Like we were.
Exactly. What are we talking about tonight, chick?
So tonight we are talking about detoxifying your life. We're talking about, we always talk about, or society is on this whole detoxify tea, detox tea, where you're detoxifying your body. But very rarely do we talk about detoxing your mind and your spirit as well as your body. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight.
All right, well, let's get into the conversation. All right, man. That's kind of interesting that you say about detoxifying your mind, your spirit. And I'll bring up something kind of interesting because I was telling my sister about what's the new power? It's Power 3. Power Book 3.
Yeah.
And to me, the story seems to be moving a bit slow.
You said that.
And I did, right? And then part of me is kind of like, I picked up the Stars subscription temporarily just to watch the series. Some part of me is saying, you know what, I might want to drop that subscription and just kind of not really get into that whole, thing.
Well, the other one is coming back on too.
It is. And so maybe I'll get back.
Tariq, I believe.
Yeah. And so not to get off topic, but it's just certain things maybe we, even when it comes to our entertainment, that we need to detoxify. When we talked about Kevin Samuels, maybe, some of the messages you're getting out here on social media, you need to detox yourself from. I see people saying, hey, you know what, I'm taking a social media break. I think those are people that felt like they needed to detox from some of the things that we are constantly being bombarded with. So I totally agree with detoxifying, because you don't know what it's doing to you until it's too late and you start having feelings that you never had before. Well, why is their life looking so good? And why is, my life looking like this? And you probably not realizing the toxic things that you're taking into your life, your spirit, your mind, and even your body. So I mean, this thing is like huge. You're talking about food, you're talking about entertainment, you're talking about the relationships that you have with people. So how does one do that? Because it's not easy.
No, it's not easy. It's easy. We know how to physically detox.
Right.
We know
that's easy. Yeah,
that's the easy
part.
Well,
they're making it easy with all the teas and all the stuff.
But
people
are
going vegan.
Discipline. Don't eat this. Don't eat that.
Yeah. Everyone's on the vegan thing now. And, yeah.
But when it comes to detoxing from people, from situations,
not so easy, right?
Not that easy, because we're social people,
right?
Human beings are social, so we want to be engaged. We want to be, surrounded by other people in relationship. But we have to recognize when those relationships are toxic to us. We had, just like you said, even with what we take in, the information that we're taking in, you have to understand the relationship, that all the information you're taking in, how that relationship with your own well-being is,
Right.
And so you have to be able to identify when it's toxic. Like you said, social media.
We have a comment.
Okay, what's our comment?
Right, drop that comment.
How do you detox from toxic family members?
That's a good one.
And
that's a very.
And who dropped that one? Who was that? Who was that? Oh,
Monica. Hey, girl.
How do you girl? You know, tell you something, sis. I was thinking about you when we started talking about this. How do you detox from toxic family?
Let me say this, Monica. You have to, once you get to a space where you realize that people around you are toxic, it's up to you to step back. It's up to you to protect your own space, to protect your own energy, your own psyche. And sometimes you just have to step back. And we talked about that last week when we talked about creating boundaries. And so you have to create boundaries for yourself, and you have to enforce those boundaries. And nobody's going to like it. It is what it is. People don't like boundaries, but you have to say, this is what's best for me. I have to step back from you. No love lost. I still love you. If you need me, you need a ride, you need 25 cents, for the bus or however much the bus is.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
If you need that, I'll be there. However, I can't be fully engaged with you right now because I have to take care of myself. And here's the thing, people just got to deal. Like we spend so much of our lives trying to people please. And that's when we get in trouble because we want to please everyone else. But meanwhile, we are sacrificing ourselves when we do that. And so you have to know your worth. You have to know your own value. And you have to know when someone is toxic to your well-being. And you have to say, no, enough is enough. Right. I'm not dealing with it. Right. And it doesn't mean that you can't, be cordial. Absolutely. But you have to get to a point where you're so strong that whatever toxicity people are bringing, you can be like, that's not penetrating my spirit. Right. And it doesn't matter who it is. Again, I say it all the time. It could be mama, daddy, sister, brother, cousin, auntie, uncle. It doesn't matter. If you're toxic, you're toxic.
She said it's really hard when these devils are around other ones you really love.
I know, right?
Facts.
Right. And I'm going to say, yes. This is my sis and we have an awesome relationship. And so we have those moments where we talk to be able to talk each other off the ledge. And like I say, man, she's an awesome and great event planner. Yes. So if you're in the Alabama area and you're looking for somebody to plan the best event, then that's what you need to do. And that's what she does. And that's what I encourage her to do to keep herself detoxified. Yes. See, the thing is, when you take the detox tea, you're actually removing toxins and replacing it with positive things. Facts. So that's the same thing you do in relationships. Facts. You remove those relationships and you replace it with positive things that bring you joy, happiness, peace, and calm. And we talk about this all the time. So it doesn't matter about them devils. They're not going anywhere. Do not let
devils on every level.
Every level. So, and I know we talk about this constantly and you actually have to keep talking about it again and again until it gets into your spirit because it's not easy. It's hurtful. You want good. You want everyone to get along, but we're just not in that type of world where we can expect that everyone is going to do the right thing. So
because everybody doesn't grow at the same time.
Right.
And so everyone doesn't evolve at the same time. Some people are still stuck on, in some childhood traumas. And some of us, we recognize, okay, well, I have this from childhood or from whatever relationship and that's a bag that's baggage that
everybody got
bag lady
everybody got
and bags. So you have to unpack that stuff and everybody doesn't do that. Everybody doesn't unpack their baggage and deal with it. And so when their unhealthy habits start to impede your health and your growth and your process, that's when you say, I can't do it with you. I can't. You have to allow people to walk their own journey sometimes. Right. And I know, as family, we like to walk journeys with each other. Some journeys aren't for everybody.
And I think it's a lot easier once you do realize that everybody has trauma.
Yes.
I mean, the people that are hurting you, the people that are toxic to you, they're toxic for a reason. It's not just people. I don't think people really intentionally set out to be mean and hurtful. Not all. There are some that are just completely just assholes. Evil and devilish, right? But I think that there are some people that really have some trauma in their life that they just have not worked out. And now hurt people, right? Hurt people. So we just got to remember that it doesn't seem right. It doesn't feel right. But I mean, that's just the truth, man. People hurt people. It's not fair. It's not right. It's going to suck. It's not going to feel good. But ultimately, you got to protect you. You got to protect your space and you got to protect your well-being.
Yes. And I mean, we're not therapists. And if you are a therapist and you're dealing with this and you know how to deal with people.
Right.
However, if you're not a trained therapist, there are some things some wounds that you just cannot caretake.
That's what I mean? Like if somebody has some kind of mental issue or that they have not addressed, that's not anything you can do anything about. So why get upset? Why get mad? Just remove yourself from the situation. Because you cannot. You don't know how to deal with somebody else's mental toxicity.
Right.
And so why even put yourself in a situation to let them get you upset? That's nothing but the devil, man.
And I'll a personal story. I did have a family member. I don't know if I should say family member, but I mean, it is what it is. I did have a family member who, I love dearly, still love, dearly. But being around that person, like when someone's energy is off or it's, just really negative, sometimes that can kind of creep or seep into your spirit, and so there were times where I would recognize when I would, be around this person and they would leave, I would just be mad, just mad, just I could feel that it was a different energy.
Right.
And so, at some point I did learn not to receive that energy. However, that person was still very toxic and made it all about them. Like it was like every time they're around, it's got to be about me and my trauma and, and kind of blaming everybody
for their problems.
And so you end up, like I ended up spending a whole lot of time just caught up in that.
Right.
And it started to affect my life. It started because I was always concerned about this person. I'm always, even when they gave it to me for trying to help, because when people are mad at the world, even somebody who is trying to help looks like an adversary.
Exactly.
Right. And so it started being, the insults and stuff started being hurled at me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't do this with you no more.
Right.
And so, there was a climax. A person did something, and I looked at it as, we talk about lessons. I looked at it as God saying, "Okay, now's the time to get out."
Done. Right.
I'm giving you the perfect opportunity.
Right. I've shown you so many things, but now this is one where you can not even deny that, baby. This is the exit plan right here,
baby. And when that happened, I was not like Lot's wife. I didn't look back.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Don't turn me into a pillar of
salt.
No,
baby. I was like, I'm gone.
Right.
I'm gone. And I've been gone ever since. Yeah. And there are some times when you let some people go, you can feel the lightness. You can feel the weight.
Right.
Just leaving. And you pray for them. That's all you can do.
Nobody's
because
saying
I can't
just
change anyway.
Yeah. Nobody's saying just kick them to the curb. And definitely, I think we all have experience in those situations. And we don't know that we have been relieved of something major and heavy on us until we're actually outside of it. And you're like, man, my life is so much better now that I'm not around this person anymore. But I mean, a lot of us have good hearts. Right. But I mean, a lot of us have good hearts and we want to, do right. And we want to give people chance on top of chance. But at what cost? At what cost to your own, mental health and your own physical health? I mean, come on, y'all, let's start thinking about this. These things are going to have physical manifestations when you're dealing with this type of bad energy all the time. So, don't let anybody tell you that you have to be stuck in a situation. I'm telling you, if you're in a job that's with a lot of toxic people, you
throw the deuces. Here's the thing. That was something that I went through.
Right.
And I went through for years,
Right. And we used to talk about that.
Oh my God. And I sat in a job that was clearly just wreaking havoc on me physically, emotionally, like spiritual, not spiritual, because I needed my spiritual armor in order to
get through there. Yeah.
So hold on, sweetie. So my spiritual armor was on, but it was wreaking havoc on me physically. I was going to the hospital for, just stuff, and the only reason why is my stubbornness made me stay.
Of course, right. Because if it had been,
because I was like, oh no, y'all ain't winning.
Signs and symptoms were telling you to go a long time
ago. I was like, y'all ain't winning. Right. I was like, I'm gonna stay. You're gonna have to fire me.
Right.
And because why? Because of unemployment. Let me show you how God works. Ended up getting terminated.
Yeah.
And they fought tooth and nail against my unemployment, and I never got it. So I went through all of that turmoil
to still.
I could have quit a long time ago and been gone and happy doing.
We stay too long in these situations. Stay too long in relationships. We stay too long in on jobs. We stay too long, even though the signs are there, right there in our face, and we don't want to see it. We're fearful. We don't know what happens if we leave. What is it going to mean for us? It's going to mean that you're going to have a better life. It might not seem like that,
right?
Because the thing you're attached to is what you think is something you have to be dependent on.
Yeah.
Do we have a comment?
Go ahead, sweetie.
It's caused the family to be so divided on so many levels.
Say that again.
Well, it has caused the family to be so divided on some.
Is that from Monica?
No, it's Maria.
Oh, Maria.
Yes,
oh,
Maria.
yes. Cuzzo Maria. What's
Hey,
up? Stacy, remember Cuzzo Maria?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
families.
no, our families are very divided. It's not, I went to my cousin's funeral not too long ago. God bless his soul, because he was an amazing, amazing person. Greg. But going to his funeral and hearing my uncle who did the eulogy, Pastor Dean, and him talking about how close our family used to be, and how, for 20 some odd years, we had 2 times a year that we would, all go down to see my great grandmother. And it was just fun times. And then we would all, that was in August. And then in September, we would all gather up and go down to Florida to see the family in Florida. And unfortunately, after my great grandmother died, that kind of ended. And you started to see there's just family members kind of straying, and so it's no longer, family is no longer just that gathering place, that it's where not. You're just going to be enveloped in love and everything. Like it, we are. I don't know if it's the time. I don't know, if we don't have that matriarch anymore, that brings everybody together. But I don't know. Like, we've just become too busy for each other. We've been caught up or become caught up in our own lives to where our lives are more important than, that family bond, and the kids don't even get together like
they don't know their
cousins.
We knew all of our cousins when I was younger. That was our family tradition. I mean, to go down to Alabama during the summers, pick muscadine.
I was gonna say eat honey.
That's what I'm saying. And go down to the candy lady and the lady soda. That sold the ice cream, the freezy cups. Yes. And so I'm telling you, it really hurts my heart that my kids don't have that right now. They don't really know their cousins. They don't have those multiple. I mean, and when I say we went every summer, this was every summer we went down and we walked and we knew the neighborhood. And it's just kind of sad. I don't know what happened, but I think that the parents of those kids had to encourage that. And then
they were all in. Our parents were all into that.
Yeah. And then, but I think that, you're right, man. There's a disconnect somewhere.
Yeah, there is.
And I mean, technology, social media, and everybody
because it makes us feel closer.
Yeah.
However,
we are more separated.
It's a facade. Social media and the closeness that it looks like with social media is a whole facade.
It's not real.
I mean,
so before all this pandemic stuff, so we're not gonna say, it's the pandemic the reason why we can't get together. No, we're not gonna. We can't blame it on that, because this started. We were seeing this before all of that came on. My kids do not know their cousins. They don't know them, period. You know what I mean?
What's the comment, dear?
Family events are so strange. You hate to come and fellowship with each other for fear of the judging.
When your family's judging you, man.
I mean, but here's the thing, though. What do we mean by judgment? Or are we a little bit too sensitive?
Yeah, please elaborate. Who was that? So when you say judgment, Monica, what do you mean? Who's judging what? Because I mean, people are gonna judge you anyway.
I mean,
it doesn't matter.
Family. I was just telling Trinity the other day, her dad and I were like, because I said something about, girl, you don't need to eat all that. Like,
right.
And she's like,
right.
And I'm like, girl, you don't understand. Like, when we were younger, mama, auntie, grandmama, you let you walk in that door 3 pounds heavier.
Baby, they gonna eat you alive.
They gonna eat you alive.
Juju told me the other day, Mama, you fat shaming me. I'm like, oh Lord, here it is, 2021 terms. But what I'm saying is that if I'm fat shaming you, or if I'm saying, baby, you need to calm down, stop eating those Takis, chill out, hey, one taco is enough. It is love.
That's love.
And
we knew that when our elders used to say stuff.
Right. Girl, you might not have said it in a way that was, what I'm saying.
I remember dyeing my hair blonde.
Yeah. Girl, what did they say?
And my mama was so mad. She was like, what in the...
Right.
But I think, who was that? It was like Biggie Small. Somebody hang with Biggie Small. I don't know if it was Beast of Hilton. Somebody had blonde hair. I thought it was cute.
Yeah.
I was like, whatever. And she had done told everybody.
Right.
She told my uncle she needs to dye that hair butt or back.
Right.
And by the time we went down there, like, I had dyed it a little bit darker, but it was still
popping. Right.
Like, your mom doesn't really like you.
Yeah.
I doubt it. Leave me alone.
Right. Right.
But I mean, family, that's who tells you.
And I think,
that's what we expected.
And I think that was because Black people had a certain, we still want to have certain standards. We still want to have a way that we presented ourselves. So no, there's a lot of controversy about talking about people with bonnets and talking about people, what they wear and how they carry themselves. I think we had standards in our community back in the day because we had to. Once, we were integrated, segregation, and, freed from slavery, we wanted to present ourselves as upstanding citizens as well. To. I mean, because look at how the media portrays us. I mean, the music, does the music portray us as upstanding beautiful women? Are Black women, a protected class in America? So, I mean, I think when you talk about judgment, let's just make sure when we're talking about how we're being judged, it's just about certain standards and just of health and being taking care of yourself.
What's the comment?
All things married or single, educated, house or RN, light or dark, etc.
Well, that colorism has always been there. Colorism.
And it's not right.
It's not right. And if you're married, if you're single, if you have a college degree, those...
All of those are petty, though. Like, those are trivial things.
And it just is what it is.
Yeah.
And so that's always going to be there because the thing is, it's not just your family that's going to judge you on those things. It's also society that's judging you too. So you can say your family saying, oh, she's not married. She doesn't have a degree. She's okay. But that's the same thing society is going to do too. Because when you go apply for a job, what are they asking you? Married, single? Do you have a degree? So, and
you can't let it bother you.
That's what I'm saying.
Thing. Like,
you know,
need to, like, okay, society says one thing. However, how do you feel about yourself? Because if I hear something about me that I know is not true, or something that's meant to hurt me, I don't give a darn.
Right.
If I'm single or and the world wants me to be married or society says who cares?
Exactly.
It's just the same thing with women who opt to not have children.
Right.
That's literally their choice.
Right. Regardless of how anybody feels about it.
Every woman doesn't have to have a child. Every woman doesn't have to be married.
Every woman doesn't have to have a college degree.
They don't. It is what it is.
So
as long as you're okay,
then what? But the judgment is going to come. So you got to understand, if you can't change the world, then change how you view exactly and how you react to what the world says you should be. These are standards that are being presented by somebody else doesn't know you personally. So no, we got to get out of worrying about what people think.
Other people's standards.
Exactly.
For real, who is just at the top of the line, overall, educated? I mean, and I don't want to say, but I mean, just doing the absolute best in society.
I don't think nobody.
So that means that if you are not doing everything right, how dare you judge me?
That's what I'm saying.
No. And I rebuke your judgment.
Exactly. And a lot of that judgment and a lot of that criticism comes from standards that really want to get your money. If they're pushing college, it's because look at how much. Let me tell you something. If I had the option and if I knew that the jobs that I was going to get, I could have had without a college degree, I would not be in $80,000 worth of student loan debt right now. So I would, if I thought that, guess what? It'll be okay to be 40 or 50 married, then I would have waited and wouldn't felt like I had to be under pressure to get married and have children. So I'm telling you, honestly, a lot of these so-called judgments and pressures are pushing you into things that you're not quite ready for. That's really going to make your life a living hell. Right. So who cares what anybody thinks? Who cares about judgment? It is what it is.
Well, let's think about this. This new term, influencers.
Which is very dangerous.
I was going to say, because who gave you the title or who designated you as an influencer?
It's because the number of followers you have on Facebook or Instagram. Are you serious? A person with 1 million followers is all of a sudden an influencer. And now what your parents say don't mean anything. You're following the person on Instagram because they have 1,000 or 1 million
other people who are following them blindly.
That's what I'm saying. But guess what? They started at 1 follower. Let's not forget they started with 1. And what did they have to do? What did they sell? What did they sacrifice to build that platform up to 1 million people that are and when you talk about followers, you're talking about literally people that are worshiping you as if you were a god. So you have to be very careful. Influencers. Obama is an influencer. Trump is an influencer.
He absolutely
there are there are lots of influencers.
Let's think
so
about
you can be influenced. So make
Mm-hmm.
sure you know who you're following. So the person that's judging you, is that person judging you influencer?
And do they have a right to judge you?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, are they doing everything in their lives, the 100% the correct way, as we say? Probably not. So we have to be careful what we entertain. Right. We have to be careful about what we receive in our spirit. And we can't receive what everybody is throwing, because we need to see ourselves through our own lens, through our own, you know what I mean? Like, you can't judge yourself according to the world, because this world is so screwed up. Like, it'll have you every which way but the right way, right.
And your time is so short here that it ultimately it's not gonna matter.
Listen, I was actually I was looking through Facebook today, and I'm never on Facebook, but I went to go look at our podcast. So I did go look at the page. And I'm, scrolling through it, and I see anybody from Atlanta or anyone from Atlanta knows Skip's Vanishing Atlanta. Mm-hmm. It's a page on Facebook, talks about everything Atlanta, all the old stuff about Atlanta, the history. And I saw a rest in peace to a particular young lady. And like, my mind couldn't wrap around it, because I had worked with her, mm-hmm. in my job. She was a PR person, and she was also the daughter-in-law for Maynard Jackson. And so I remember, working with her, and she was just young, vibrant, and it was like, oh my God, like, that's Maynard Jackson's, daughter-in-law. Mm-hmm. She worked very closely with his ex-wife, Miss Bunny Ransom, and had a child, a grandchild, of Maynard Jackson's grandchild. But I just seeing that, I was like, it can't be, like, this can't be mm-hmm. who they're talking about, so I'm clicking, and I'm like, oh my God.
It was her.
It was her. Mm. Rest in peace, Kelly Bass Jackson. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. It hit me. Yeah. Because I'm like, yo, like, she was doing it in Atlanta. Like, right. She PR maven, right. And like, in all the little circles that, that we look at Atlanta elite, and just had all this stuff going on, and to be dead at 58.
Just over,
Listen, I don't know, I don't know why or how she died, but what it did was it brought the fact home, like, this life, like, I hate saying life is short, mm-hmm. because it's what you do with it.
Right.
But I mean, 58, and I'm like, we're 44, and mm-hmm. I'm just like, I work with her, I think, like 10 years ago. And so 10 years ago, like, I'm sure she never expected, like,
that at 58, it would have been a done deal. So the things that we're even focusing on right now are going to be so insignificant in the big scheme of things. So please take every day as a gift. And I'm telling you, it's not easy, but you have mm-hmm. to find a way to separate out what people, somebody's always going to have something to say about you.
Yes.
There's always going to be toxic people in your life.
Detoxification is to ignore that stuff. Let that stuff go. Yes. Yeah. Sometimes you do. Social media is one of those things that you don't recognize the impact until you step away from it.
Right. And when you go back, you're like,
oh,
that's how I am sometimes when I'm scrolling Facebook. I'm like, once I see something crazy, I jump off immediately, because I'm like, okay, no, I can't get that in my spirit. Yeah. And as for discernment, because the thing is, if you have discernment, then you can know when to, easily say, mm-hmm. okay, no, I'm done, I'm good.
And discernment is a gift.
It is. It really is a gift. I'm shutting this down today, because I can't take that energy into me, because if you do, it's going to roll over into other things you're doing. So
you're going to start feeling some kind of way, like,
about this one. Doing this, you're going to get more sensitive when somebody says something to you. So let's detoxify.
Let's detoxify. Don't just focus on your body. Like, listen, I am probably, and I won't say how many pounds mm-hmm. over I am my goal weight, but I'm a couple of pounds over my goal weight. Mm-hmm. I'll get back. I ain't worried about that. Right. But I may be a couple of pounds over, but baby, spiritually, And mentally, I don't let some stuff go. I
Right.
don't let some weight go.
Yeah.
And so
that's gonna
I
make
feel amazing.
Yeah, and it's gonna make it easier to drop the other weight because you're not doing that.
I'm not focused.
You're not eating to help you with your emotional problems, and so everything comes full circle. I think it all works hand in hand. I think the emotional, the spiritual, the physical, all works hand in hand. And let me tell you something, y'all. We have to be very careful to guard our hearts, our minds, and our spirits, because if we don't, then you're going to look up, you're going to wonder why your life seems like it's not where it needs to be. Yes. And when you really evaluate, it's because of the things you're allowing. Honestly, you are actually allowing it.
What did I say during the that podcast with Jamil?
Yeah,
I control access to this.
Pretty much,
you control access to that.
You know? Thank you.
And so,
quit letting people have easy access.
I'm just saying.
Stop answering the phone.
I'm just saying.
Shut off social media.
My phone stays on DND. Why?
Do not disturb. I try to call her sometimes. I'm like, wait, dude, we got a podcast tonight. Do not disturb. And I ain't mad at you.
I'm at peace, because not being overly concerned or bogged down by what's going on in the world around you is such a free.
It's so free.
It's so. I go to sleep with my phone on Do Not Disturb, and I just read a meme, and I was like, "Oh, I kind of feel bad." It was like, the people who sleep with their phone on Do Not Disturb don't give a damn about nobody.
They really don't. You know what? But you know what? I don't believe that. Let me tell you something. Baby. Before cell phones and all this, like, I was talking to somebody the other day, and it was like, wait, when we used to go out driving, and we didn't have cell phones, we had beepers and maybe had pay phones, but we weren't worried about somebody having 24-hour access to us.
That's stress within itself.
It's very stressful. It's very stressful. So if you're texting me, and please know that I might have seen your text, and some of y'all might be viewing and like, I text Michelle 2 days ago, and because it takes me a minute to try to, get my mind right to be able to answer that text and be able to take care of what you're asking of me. And so just be considerate of the fact that somebody might be going through some stuff. Everybody you can't have 24-hour access to people.
No.
It's not fair. No. And it was never like that before. So why should it be like that now?
Which is why
I'm sorry. If you don't like it, then you'll be all right. Honestly, I'm sorry.
I mean, you have to again,
boundaries.
That's a part of. That's it. And that's one of my boundaries. One of my boundaries is my phone will be on Do Not Disturb. And I'll check it to make sure that there are no emergencies. And people that, need to contact me for emergencies.
They know other people.
Right. They can go in my whole house and, get to me.
Right.
But as for me, that's a part of me protecting my own sanity.
I gotta have it.
That's a part of me protecting my own peace. And everybody needs that time that it's nothing else in the world but them and whatever you choose to be doing at that time.
Thank you.
And you can't, worry about the influx of information or, people trying to vie for your time, people trying to, vie for your peace.
Yeah.
Because not everybody wants you to be at peace.
You're right.
Let's remember
You're right.
that.
And when I'm on the phone with somebody, I really don't like to have to tell them, hey, give me a minute. Let me take this other call. And, sometimes you're like, well, don't hang up because I'll be right back. But honestly, I really don't like to interrupt any kind of conversation or vibe I'm having with a friend on the phone to take another call. It just depends. But sometimes it's important. But sometimes I can be like, you know what? I can hit them back later. Girl, keep on talking. What, girl? So what's going on? Because sometimes when you got something going on and you're talking with a friend and they going through some stuff, you don't want to interrupt that with.
That is so rude.
It is rude. And, I don't like to do that when we talk. You know what I mean? I'm like, girl, don't hang up. Because I already know it's going to be a quick call. Like, Stacey, don't hang up. I'll be right back. Because it might be something where, okay, it's the baby calling. So it's the school calling. Let me just see what's going on real quick. But there are times when you just got to, hey, let it go.
You do.
Hey, that, and
and I was telling my godmother, and you and I talked about it too, like, just because I feel like people love telling me their life stories.
Yeah.
And I have no problem with that. But when I go out, I'm going to walk away with at least 2 people's life stories.
Right. Because you got that kind of personality.
I clearly have the face that's like, tell me your life.
Right.
And so we were out the other night. And, this young lady, she was outside. We were waiting on our table. And she was outside smoking a cigarette. And, we just sat down on the bench. And she was sitting right there. And she just had me listen to our conversation. Yeah. She was like, sorry for listening to your conversation, but I'm like, girl, it's okay. You know, we're in public.
Right.
And, you know, she came over and she was just talking about what she was going through. And she had just lost her dad. And, you know, she's a stand-up comedian. And I'm just like, people are going through so much,
man.
And they still have a smile on their face. They're still, you know, and so that's why I believe in kindness.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in kindness. Like, and you can't allow yourself to be in that space and be kind and, you know, show other people kindness and be there for other people, even random strangers sometimes, if you are so caught up in, you know, bullcrap,
right,
toxicity, negative stuff. You're not open because your mind is so on so-and-so did this and so-and-so did that.
Get over it,
you know,
man.
so-and-so don't like me. Who cares?
10% of the people you're coming into contact with are not going to like you. I mean, just get over it. You know what I'm saying?
It's more than 10.
I would think so.
They act like they like you.
They really don't like you either. So if that's what you're basing your life on and your day and your happiness on, then you're going to really have a miserable life.
Yeah.
But
I mean, try to see how, like, take some time. If it's a day, I mean, I say take more than a day, but if it's a day, 2 days or something, step away from everything.
Right.
See how good you feel without anybody else's input. Don't answer no phone. I mean, you want to watch TV, that's fine. Don't interact or engage on social media. See exactly how much more declutter and at peace you feel without all of the distractions. Because that's what all of this is.
Right.
They're distractions.
That's what it is from what you really could and should be doing. And I'm telling you, man, you're going to look up and you're going to see that years have gone by and all the stuff you said you were going to do, you have not accomplished it because it's the little things that keep. I'm telling you, got to watch out. That devil is busy. He's using people to keep you and slowly, oh, she looked at me a certain way and this made me feel a certain way. All that feelings and all that emotion stuff
way about the way I'm living my life.
It's going to get you messed up and you're never going to get to your goal. When you're going to look up, it's going to be 50, 60 years later. And so many people are looking at their lives with so many regrets. Yes. Please don't be that person.
Yes. Get yourself around people who are happy for you.
That love you, thank you. You know who's authentic,
who motivates you.
Right.
If you're around, what was that meme? Like somebody was like, I went to my therapist, and I forgot what it was, but it's like basically, you around the wrong people. Like if you constantly feeling down, you're constantly feeling like, you know, people are talking about you, betraying you, or whatever. Get you a new circle. I mean,
people, your circle should be encouraging you and telling you good things about yourself. Yes. They shouldn't, you know, the devil tells you all the bad things you've done and I remind you of all the ugly things about yourself. But that means that if that's how you're feeling all the time, then where's that circle telling you, girl, you awesome. You are doing it. Beautiful. You are making progress. You are really getting there. If you're not feeling like that, then you got the wrong people around you, or you're probably watching the wrong things, or you're taking the wrong things into your spirit. So man, come on. Like I say, it's all of us suffer and struggle with this every day. So let's make a plan to come up higher. Let's do better, man.
Get to a point where you don't need other people's validation. And
you don't care.
It doesn't.
It's so free to not care.
The most freeing thing in the world to not
care
or care about.
Go Facebook Live. Go live on Facebook
without no script
and don't care. And don't care what anybody thinks or says about you. Some people probably look at our lives and be like, who they think they are? We don't care.
We don't think who we are. We know who
That's
we
what
are.
I'm saying.
That's the difference.
And we know what our purpose is. Period. So this has been a good one, man.
You get it. It was for you. If you don't, it ain't for you. Bye-bye.
Period. This been a good one.
It has.
Hey, Rep Your City, man. Show them that shirt. Show
this. This is the gentrified shirt.
All right. You got it on screen. Baby, Gentrify.
Am I turned the right way?
Go to repyourcityga.com.
Extra 3 pounds.
And whatever. What? repyourcityga.com, man.
I wish I could turn around, but I can't.
Right. This is a picture of like one of the housing projects that have been torn down in Atlanta.
With the definition at the bottom
of hashtag gentrified. So check that out on the repyourcityga.com
and it feels
website.
Good. This is a great quality shirt. I'm so excited. Oh my God. I can't wait to to go somewhere.
Gentrified. If you're from the ATL or from Georgia, man, we are going to be filling up, and they are filling up because we send our suggestions over there too. Yes. So they are filling up that store with all types of cool vintage ATL t-shirts, vintage Georgia t-shirts, man. There's going to be some stuff coming for Savannah, the Geechees, man. What y'all got going on, baby? They're going to be filling that store up with all kind of cool stuff. So don't forget to check it out.
Like we support
there are
Black
sponsors.
businesses.
Please.
And so we just ask that you support, businesses, Black businesses as well.
Yes. And if you'd like to advertise with us.
Please send us an email at info@raindropcombos.com.
Oh, you got it. She got it.
With
no stuttering. She got it. No stuttering this time.
Y'all don't know how hard that has been for me. And I have been on my girl so much, until it hit me that I'm like, oops.
Exactly.
Turn. I'm good. I'm good. But no, I mean, guys, we do this because we have a good time talking to y'all. I mean, it's just
fun, man. It's just fun.
We talk.
We got a comment before we get up out of here. Who is it?
Miss Monica, she said really enjoyed the show.
Well, thank you for
Monica.
joining us and share.
You.
Please like, comment, and share. And we look forward to seeing you guys. Of course, we do our Wednesday Millennial, Gen X, Gen Z mashup. So catch us on Wednesdays. Yes. And then, of course, Sundays when my girl
Sundays
rolls
are
through.
Super Soul. Sorry, OP. Miss OP. Sorry, girl. But this is our Super Soul. We're going to steal that from Miss Oprah. Right. But, our Super Soul therapy session Sundays. And we really don't have a topic until I pull up in the driveway.
Literally.
And we talk over, our drink. And we talk
and we just flow with it.
We
just flow. Go live, man. Hit that button. You never know.
It's not scripted. So, y'all saw where we had a little bit of a technical difficulty at the beginning, had to start over. But it is what it is.
We back, baby. We always gonna come back.
Do you? Follow your dreams.
What's our trend? One last thing. What is it?
Miss Erica said, I shared, love the show.
Who is Miss Erica? Which Erica? What's her name? Erica who?
It's the broker.
Oh, what's up, Miss Erica? What's up? Oh, real estate chick. Oh, she bombed. Okay. Thanks for sharing.
And if you want to be a guest on the show,
please
let's
educate our community on what you have going on.
If you're an expert in some area,
please do. Please do.
We're not.
We just talk. We just homegirls. We talk.
Right, that's it. We're an expert in friendship. How about that?
Exactly. info@raindropcombos.com. Hit us up if you would like to be a guest on the show. You got some information you want to share. Hey, we keep it short, we keep it sweet, and we are looking to spread the word. And if you love
Black community and you love Black people, on. That's a prerequisite.
Exactly. You got to.
That's a prerequisite to be on this show.
Exactly. All right, well, love y'all, man.
Thank y'all so much for listening. We love you guys. What are we going into this week with?
What?
Because we always go with something.
Detoxify.
Detox your life.
Please make a promise. Hashtag Detoxify in the comments. Hashtag I will detoxify.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Whatever that looks like in your life.
Right.
Work on it. This week, shout out to our babies in Fulton County who are going back to school this week. Oh, praise God.
Right.
It has been, sorry, Trinity, she looked at me kind of crazy, but it has been it's been an interesting 2 years.
With the virtual and all of that.
Yes.
And so praying for all of the kids actually that have gone back and everything that's going on out in the world. Hey, everybody, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Stay clean, stay healthy, stay,
drink your water. Drink water and shine like a diamond,
honey. That's what I'm saying, man. Take your
right.
vitamin D and don't worry,
And vitamin C.
God got us. We're going to be good.
God got us in the palm of his hands and we are going to be amazing. We already are.
Deuces. Love y'all.